Welcome to Thrive HQ. Today we'll be discussing the concept of competitive advantage and why it's important to gain competitive advantage and how you can do that. So if you're somebody who's running a business, who wants to get into business, or you want to be a strategist or a consultant, this is one of the most basic concepts to understand. Now, competitive advantage is the ability of an organization to outperform its competitors. You know that the business landscape right now is extremely competitive. There's way too many people doing everything that is possible out there. So you need to have some sort of advantage over your competitors. When you have competitive advantage, you can easily build more profits with an equivalent set of activities that somebody else does. Now, why is it challenging to gain competitive advantage? It's primarily because of the speed of competition and the constant evolution in technology. These two things make it extremely difficult to gain competitive advantage these days. Now, there's something called searching the white space. Now, searching the white space in any industry means competing on either of these two fronts, that is, differentiation or cost leadership. We'll be discussing what these terms mean in just a short while, but first I want to tell you something that Michael Porter calls the kiss of death. Now, Michael Porter says that it's possible to have both. You can have differentiation and you can have cost leadership. But what companies fail to understand is that they try to be all things to all customers. That means they don't have a market defined, they don't have their product line defined for a certain market demographic or an age group or things of that sort. And in the rush of getting everything from cost leadership to differentiation for everybody that is out there, they want to capture every group of the customers that's out there. What they do is they wind up getting stuck in the middle. They do not try to focus on what can be done. They can either do differentiation or cost leadership. You need a very good consultant, or you need to be very good in business to be able to understand that how to manage both of these things. So first, let's go to differentiation. When we're talking about differentiation, it essentially means to command premium prices by delivering distinct value. Now, how can you do that? You can do that by either giving extremely good quality or be very good in innovation. You have a lot of investment in R&D. Your R&D team is very good. They're doing things in terms of innovating products, innovating services, and innovating customer experiences. Then you have customer relations. Then you have the product range. This is just a brief example, and there can be many different things. One of the best examples in this case would be Apple products. They don't compete on prices, they compete on the quality they give you, they compete on bringing new technology to you every year. That is how they're able to charge premium prices. The benefits of differentiation would be you can charge top prices, that is, you get more profits, and you can charge lesser prices, but in that case, because you're very good in your quality, innovation, customer relations, and all of these things, you're able to build a good market share. Now let's move on to cost leadership. Cost leadership is basically the balance between price and acceptable quality. When we're talking about cost leadership, it does not mean that you want to give something out for cheap and so you compromise on the quality. In that case, anyways, there's nobody going to be buying your product, and your market repo and all is going to be affected. So you have to maintain a good balance between price and acceptable quality. You have to become the lowest cost producer in an industry. That is what your focus needs to be. When you reduce your cost, that's when you can compete on prices. So how do you attain cost leadership? You can attain cost leadership by way of cost effective inputs. You focus that you don't waste too much money on inputs. If you have somebody giving it to you for cheaper, but if you're not compromising too much on quality, you can do that. You can do process innovation. You can do re-engineering. So these are all concepts that we're going to discuss slowly and gradually in the coming videos. So moving on, we have low cost distribution channel, we have learning curve, which is one of the most important things, and economies of scale. Learning curve, I'll just give you a brief introduction. So when you get into business, let's say you start an X business today and you're not that well versed and you're not that experienced in the sector. So what happens is you might run into situations where you incur more cost than is reasonable, But as you go on, a couple years down the line, you would be able to understand what the most optimum utilization of resources and what's the best process to do a certain thing. That is where your learning curve comes in. So you learn things with time and with experience, and you do better. Now the benefits are you can get higher margins due to low cost. Now if somebody is selling the product at 100 and because of competition you cannot price it higher than 100, and if their cost is 50 and your cost is 30, you're obviously earning more, so you have higher margins. Then you can compete on prices. Because your cost is less, you can afford to sell it at a lower price than your competition does, and that way you can capture market share. So I hope you like the video. Please give me some feedback, and I'd be seeing you in the next one.